dropped off some stuff to some friends of ours up the street. Bookshelf and some old tables.
You're lightening your load.
Yeah, and then, it's not my turn yet, but then I'll tell you about my work. But Jake already did.
Okay. I'm Jake Schriner.
I'm Tracey White.
Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation Podcast. Sans Pastor Bob.
Sans Pastor Bob.
No Bob.
No Bob.
Who is having a jolly good time
Oh, you're loving
in the land of Ing.
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
I'm sorry I said that.
Did he make it there safe as anybody?
I have no idea.
Probably,
Yeah, I would think so. You know.
Yeah, but Bob is traveling. They have an anniversary trip, and he is across the pond, as they say.
Yeah.
Supposed to have landed in London this morning, and hopefully he's there and traveling around all the
So he's probably
all the European.
tired and.
Well, he was talking with me about it. The timing actually is not too bad. So it's like he said it was like a 9-hour flight, but they left at 6:30 last night, and they land at
Like in the morning.
Yeah, like 9 or 10 in the morning there.
Oh.
So if you sleep most of the flight,
Yeah.
you might
Should be okay. Yeah,
you might be a little off, but not too bad. Like
Yeah.
And it's a great trip for them too, because they're visiting friends as they're
Yeah.
going, so that's always nice.
Right.
All right, that's why Bob's not here. He won't be here for the next one probably either. Well, we won't do him next week, but he may. No, he should be back for the next
For the
one.
next
But
one,
anyway,
yeah. After that.
all righty then.
Hi,
Well,
Bob.
hey,
Hope you're having a good time.
Hi, Bob. All right, so let's see how everybody's doing. This should take less time.
Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know. Jake, how are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. It was a very long week at work last week. Had some people on vacation. Lost my foreman. So it's a whole thing. We're not going to get into that. But yeah, so
Well, there was trouble brewing.
There was trouble brewing. Yes, but fortunately, he's actually he's seeking the help that he needs.
Good. Okay,
And,
good.
It's positive things are coming out of it. So and spent a lot of time in the yard today too. Got attacked by a piece of steel.
Oh.
Yeah. I fell over while carrying a piece of expanded metal.
Oh
no.
Kind of my fault. It's mostly my fault. But I did step on something that wasn't put away properly, and I was carrying a big piece of steel. And,
Yikes.
tripped a little bit and stumbled, and then the steel hit the wall, and we all just went down.
Oh no.
And then
Heads will roll.
dude, it was. But the thing you gotta be careful though with that, because when you have like sheared edges of steel, it's so sharp you won't feel it cut you. So I loaded the customer with it. I got up, loaded the customer, was chatting with him for a minute, and then as I walked back in, I felt like my arm like itched, and I looked down, and it was just
blood.
yeah, like ooh. But
That will be blood.
plenty of war stories like that. But,
good.
no, this weekend was actually really good. Harper had her dance recital on Saturday morning.
Oh,
so yeah, she was
cool.
doing a
All
dance
right.
program through her school, and she had a little dance show. They did a ballet song and a hip hop song, and then one like final song. That was it was fun. It was awesome. It was the kids because it was through the school, and the school does like pretty much 6 weeks old all the way up to 6 years old. So any kid that was like 3 or older could be part of the program, and so they would meet once a week and do everything. So, her and a few of her friends were in it, and they all did great. And then there were some of the littler kids that were in it too, and they were just off in their own their own world, doing their own thing. The choreography to a 3-year-old is it's a little tough, but no, that was a lot of fun. Yep. Let's see, we had church yesterday, and then I woke up to a text this morning. As I was mentioning, I think last week, we're probably going to have to buy some tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And oddly enough, my neighbor, not the one I was anticipating getting plants from, my other neighbor, she texted me this morning and said, hey, I'm going to have extra peppers and tomatoes.
Wow,
If you're interested.
okay.
I said, well, I'm interested in the tomatoes. I already got way too many peppers, but I was like, the tomatoes, absolutely. So
I'll be sure to touch base with
Annette, yes, I have her.
Okay.
I have her number. I'll send us both a text and a group message so we can communicate.
We will
'cause,
have too many tomatoes.
Yeah,
We'll plant some at our house or something.
Yeah, why not? We can take extras home. I'm planning on doing my personal garden. I was cleaning that out a little bit
good,
on
cool.
Saturday morning too. So, It's been so overgrown for like the last 2 years because I didn't even look at it last year, and now it's
still
just
kind of
this
bad
jungle. I would much rather that the community garden do well, because
Yeah.
the home garden, that's fun, but if I don't have the time for it, that's okay. You know, I'd rather, but you know, I'd like to start it up again and everything.
Sure.
So
You're fine-tuning your skills.
Yeah.
You're becoming a
Just-
master. A master of the
I
garden.
have notebooks. I used to like
You have
take
notebooks?
meticulous
Oh,
notes
yeah.
about how I would grow and when to start things and all that stuff. And so,
Oh, nice.
and over time, you know, it all just kind of, you know, you just keep it up top anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my folks will be here this weekend because Harper has her preschool graduation on Friday,
Yay.
which is crazy. And then she starts her summer camp program at the same school. So it won't feel like much has changed for her, but they kind of switch up the curriculum, make it a little more fun for the kids during the day and stuff. So she's looking forward to that. Yeah, and I'm ready for summer.
Awesome. Me too, man. Bring it on. The sunshine finally came out.
Finally.
Hasn't one
Yeah.
too many days of gray for me.
It was starting to depress. It was a lot of rain, a lot of overcast.
Oh.
We missed the awesome aurora borealis
I did
that happened.
too,
The rest of the nation, it seems like, got it, and we have rain clouds, so we
Yeah,
can
was
see
it actually
You have to go
visible
to the
from
mountains or
Colorado? I
something.
mean,
So
Yeah,
from what
you-
I've
I know it was possible that it was going to be
Yeah.
visible.
So my older brother and his girlfriend in Washington, they were definitely able to see it, like clear skies. The pictures they posted and sent us were absolutely beautiful.
That's awesome.
My folks in St. Louis could see it a little bit, but I think a lot of the pictures people were taking and posting, your phone was able to kind of enhance the photos too. So a lot of the ones that were posted online were not like visible to the naked eye as brightly colored as their posts would seem, because the internet's so truthful.
Right.
And,
Yes.
you know.
I know it's true because I read it on the internet.
Right, yeah. But it was a bummer. I was hoping to at least try and catch some of it. But no, it was overcast for, 3 or 4 days straight. Couldn't see any of it.
Yeah, I wanted to see them too. Of course, Leona's from Alaska. She's seen them in
She's
Alaska.
probably sick of them.
No,
Yeah,
no,
she-
whatever. They're amazing. But it probably would have been a letdown for her.
Right.
the
Not the
view here.
same, yeah.
Oh, well. Well, awesome, man. Well, glad you're here, of course.
Me too.
Let's jump across. Doo-doo-doo.
Hello.
Tracey White.
I got to see the
Mad
aurora
Painter.
when I was in Alaska years and years ago. It was pretty cool. It was like a small storm. It was like low on the wow factor, but
Low on the wow.
for myself and a couple of people who I was there with, it was pretty cool. So just working hard again. This day just disappeared. I have no idea where it went. I was on a call. And then after you came by, I got on another call and looked at the clock and I was like, how is it lunch already? Yeah. Went in for lunch, came back out, and then it's the end of the day.
Yeah.
Put some nasty clothes on and painted a little bit in the last room we have to paint. And ran out of paint, so I went to Lowe's and got there at Lowe's and getting everything together, and I'm like, oh no, I forgot my wallet. So I called Josh. Well, I called Kathy and asked if Josh would bring me my wallet, because it's right down the street. It's just
Right.
So, and he did. He brought it, but he drove up, and I don't know if I told you the other story when he was out dashing.
Oh, DoorDash.
Because he
Yeah.
does DoorDash, and he went up to a house and closed the door and accidentally hit the key lock. So he made his delivery, but he was locked out of his car in front of these people's house. So he called. He's like, "Oh, what do?" I'm like, "I'll bring you the key." Because the extra key was at home. So he brought my wallet and he handed it through the window, and I'm like, "We're even now."
Hey, there you go.
But yeah, I'm very thankful he was willing to do that.
Well, it was fun seeing you this morning, I will
Yeah,
say.
likewise.
I mean, it was weird. I left school for a very short time.
Yeah.
Won't go into all that, but the disc, it was missing, but it was here.
Yeah.
But just seeing you this morning, I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to hang out for a while. But I was like,
I wanted
got
you to
get
hang out. Watch what I do for a living.
Yeah, that would've been great.
And stuff. It was, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, both the kids helped Kathy today with the paint.
Oh,
So
good, yeah.
I think it's probably about a third done
Wow.
for that last room. But
It's looking good inside. When I,
I
dropped
think
Harper
it's
off,
too,
yeah.
yeah.
It's looking good.
It's everything's getting a little cleaner as we go. Now the upstairs and the basement are like completely clean. I mean, they're like show ready.
Oh, awesome.
But the main level there, like where the kitchen is and that family room, that's kind of the gathering place for everything else that needs to be put away. But it is pretty quickly becoming emptier as well, and cleaner as well. So we're almost there. So
Sweet.
See how that goes. But, so Johnny, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine today. You know, I was thinking when you were telling your blood, you know.
Yeah.
Early blood. That happened at school day. There was a moment where there was a kid. This was in the middle of lunch, right? And then I'm turning this way. I just dealt with this thing and that thing. And as you guys know, 1,000 stories, 1,000 untold stories in the naked jungle of the city of the school.
Yes.
They all happen, right? So everything's going on. But then this kid, he just came up to me, and I looked down and he had his hand like this, and his hand was full of blood.
Oh,
no.
I go, whoa, dude. Okay, all right, go with me. And he was dripping it all on the floor. I'm like, oh, seriously. But anyway, got him into the nurse and taken care of, and I had blood on my hand. It was like, oh, watch. Then when I went back in, there was like all along the floor. So Darren had to come in and he had this special spray for blood. But it was like I couldn't tell where the guy started, right?
Yeah.
And then we kept finding little dots, and I was like, oh, I guess it was over. Okay. At this point, a whole other grade level had just come in for lunch. I'm trying to get away from the blood, which sounds, horrifying when you come into. That's the kid who wasn't listening the last time. So I don't want any problems.
You're going to listen next time. Well.
Anyway, but our weekend was good too. I mean, we Friday night went to see the Texas Rangers, world champ.
Yeah.
Texas Rangers play the poorly playing Rockies, and the Rockies won. And they won again on Saturday, and they won again on Sunday. Come on, Rockies! I couldn't lose. I was for the Rockies. I was for the Rangers.
That's
I was like, dude, all right, come
The
on.
Rockies are not a good ball club right now.
I know, and they beat them all 3 games.
They've done well. They've done not so well. I mean,
I couldn't believe
look,
it.
it's the same as the Cowboys.
Yeah, right. Now Michael was pretty bummed, but Michael was pretty fun to go to a baseball game with. I will say that because he loves it. He
Does he really?
Yeah, he just loves
That's
going to the ball game. So anyway, it was me and Leona and Melissa and Kyle and Michael.
Awesome. That's cool.
Went to the ball game. It got a little chilly there near the end. So, but the other thing about that, and you always have to have a hot dog or something. Right?
Yeah.
We just decided, you know what? We're at the ballpark. Yeah, let's just go nuts, man. So we've got the long hot dog.
Yeah.
And I guess we spent so much at the deal that somehow we ended up with a free brat as well. Just as long. Like, okay, so I had that plus some fries.
You spend $100 at the concession stand.
Some fries and a Coke, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the worst I've eaten in a long time. So I'm eating the hot dog, so Leo and I split the brat, and it was gone. It was gone, friends.
Awesome.
And then also the fries, just something about being at the game.
Yeah.
And then after a little while, we had smelled this wafting up, because we were on, we were in left field up top. And so concessions and things were just all right there in view even. And it's like, man, what does that guy have? This guy has this thing. And it's up like this, and it had cream and whatever. It's like, what is that? It's like, that's a funnel cake.
Yeah.
And they had a variety of funnel cakes. And so we're like, we're going to have to get the funnel. So we did. So they took off, came back up, and we had 3 between all of us. I'm like, how do you even eat this thing? Because it's like, they give you like a spoon or a fork or something.
Yeah, just eat it.
Do that, and the whole thing's going to go flying to the person sitting there. But I munched on all that. It was like, what have we done? But then, there's a lot of walking to get all the way back to the car after the game and down the stairs.
Burned
off some of it.
Well, I burned off about that much.
Right.
But anyway, it was, it was a fun weekend. And of course, yesterday, Mother's Day, Michael was at work, but Melissa and Leo and I we were talking about this earlier, Stanley Marketplace. And that was pretty fun. We had some food there, but so doing pretty good today. Had a little bit of energy this morning. That was good. Got some good rest, of course. I was exhausted. Something about having a really good night's sleep gives you a lot of energy for the next day.
Go figure.
So, and you would understand that more than anybody with the sleep thing. Well, anyhow, so here we are. All right, now we're all up to date.
I forgot one story I want to tell you guys.
Yeah, what's that?
You know about my grandmother.
Yeah.
So Mama June is 106 for all our millions of followers.
Yeah,
that are
106.
tuning in. And she took a bad spill Friday before last. Broke 7 ribs, punctured lung. And it was pretty much it for her. And she and the family decided just, they're not going to treat her. Just whatever she asked for, make her comfortable, let her pass. And so yesterday I was talking to my mom, because I call her. And so I asked, I was like, well, how's Mama June doing? Because now it's been a week and a couple of days since the fall. And almost a week since they made the decision to not treat her. And she says, it's so weird because she said, Mama June says, I really want to go home and be with Jesus, but I'm really enjoying all this company.
Does she at any time do like this with her fist and little things come out? Like Wolverine and she just can't die? Or
No, I don't know what the deal
God bless
is.
her.
But she is an amazing
What an
woman.
inspiration
And I like
she is.
telling people, she has never met somebody she doesn't love. Right?
Yeah.
She's that good of a woman, very very godly woman. And
That's very
yeah,
cool.
but I want to go, but I'm really having a
She's such an inspiration. Man.
yeah, she is. Anyway,
We should all aspire to live to 106 plus.
I know.
Clean living, sonny.
She said bacon.
Bacon.
What's
Well,
the
yeah, there
secret,
you
Mama
go.
June?
Coffee and bacon.
Right.
That's how you stay
There
alive.
you go.
Oh, well, all right. Well, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? About yesterday, what's coming up? We got stuff coming up. I do want to clarify something real fast. This is one thing I love about the podcast, that not all pastors get to do, is that they get to clarify something they said wrong on Sunday.
said something wrong?
Well, yeah, I did. In one phrase early on, I said something along the lines of that he wanted to take the message to Gentiles, to Greeks, to people who weren't Jews anymore, or something like that. People who were no longer Jews, I think is what I said. Which is not at all what I thought I said. It was after I listened, I went, wait, that makes no sense at all. What I meant to say was that the message was now being carried to the Gentiles and not exclusively to the Jews as it had started. And that's what I meant to say, but what I said was something weird. It was like, they're not Jews anymore. Well, wait. Anyway, then there was something else I said a little later in the message where I was trying to say, quoting the passage of treating others as better than yourself.
Right.
And I said, treat not better than you. I think I said they're more important to you. I think is what I said, and they're more whatever to you. And I meant to say than you, but
Oh, the part
That's
that
nitpicking.
treat them as if they're more important than.
yeah, that part was correct.
Okay.
Right.
Anyway, it's little piddling things that just kind of drives me
That sounds
crazy.
accurate.
Yeah,
I don't recall that or got
That's good. No,
don't feel like
that's
we
good.
got lost on it.
No, you guys sometimes will go, oh, I know what you mean. That's
Yeah.
what you do. But for those who may have seen it and went, what the heck is this guy talking about? It's good to clarify. I just hate it when I do that. I can always tell, hadn't had to sleep yet at that point. But yeah, I wouldn't fire it on all cylinders. There's also another thing I want to clarify about the last story I told. But before I do any more talking, what do you guys have to say about any of this stuff?
I'm curious about the last story. I mean,
Teaser for the-
I like that you put the pictures.
Yeah, the
in.
pictures are kind of a
Yeah.
nice,
Yes.
a nice touch.
I did
Yeah.
have a connection problem inside the school. That
Oh, that's
deep
a
into
bummer.
the school, the 5G doesn't really connect, and I don't connect to the Wi-Fi. So
The only thing is you can't make it bigger, and
you
that's
can't.
kind of annoying. So what I could do
But it's
is
nice.
put the
It's good.
picture like on our website and then make a link to it there that you could kind of zoom
Mhm.
in which is what I would like to do.
So there's something at the start of the story. They say they were going to head for a few ports in Asia.
Oh,
Had to
right.
be- So Asia that they're referring to is
Right,
like
right,
Asia
right.
Minor. It's
Yes,
like what
yes,
Turkey
yes.
would be nowadays. You know,
Yes.
it's not like they went down the Red Sea around India and went over to the Orient and then came back like absolutely.
Thank you for that clarification, Jay. Yes,
Because I think
absolutely.
anybody
Asia
that would know
Minor.
nothing would look at that and go, Asia, what is it? No, it's the most eastern part of the Roman Empire.
Yes.
Is really where they, like the few ports. So that map
Yes, yes,
is wonderful clarification because
Yes,
it
it
shows
is.
them going north to the southern coast of like Turkey and stuff before they head over to Crete.
Right.
So we thought we'd sail down to Asia
Right.
first, then back up to Rome.
It's a long way out of the way.
It's a long way.
Yeah, that's another one of those little clarification things. I wish I had made a little clearer.
But the picture's cool, but also the boat as well.
Oh,
like
right.
I think describing the environment of this boat is
Yeah, we're
like
gonna do that next week. For sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not to get too into it, but like they had no AC. There was no sofas. There
No,
was no, I mean, you were
not
probably
a
at
cruise ship.
a certain level shackled to a point. If you were a prisoner
Oh,
on one of these boats,
possibly, sure.
you didn't get sunshine. You didn't get clean water for the most part. You didn't get good food. Like you probably got rotting food.
There's no rudder.
Right.
Either. There's, I mean, that's why they were kind of, you couldn't, well, this will come up as we talk, but they couldn't sail that boat into the wind.
Okay.
They couldn't go against the wind, I should
Right.
say. There was no way to do that. So that's why in part why they've never wanted to go out into the open Mediterranean there or whatever. But yeah, that was part of it. Also, this particular ship is not the first one they were on. Okay, so I said at the end, it's once they then get on this ship.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
Rome would, it was one of those Egyptian grain vessels, basically. So they're pretty sturdy, pretty sturdy thing, but they really were very simple in the way the design of that boat was. We'll find out too. There's more to that idea of when the shipwreck stuff happens. It's full of grain and things. It's all the money was lost in this deal. But anyhow, we'll talk more about that later. But yes, the boat is not the very first one that they were on. It's the one that they do get on here very soon. So, but it's similar. I mean, it's going to be a similar kind of thing. But
Zero luxury whatsoever.
But no luxury.
Yeah,
No,
nothing.
not a luxurious thing. And horrifying. I have another image that I discovered out there that is an artist rendition of what that kind of boat would have looked like in this kind of storm. Now, and again, I'll probably say something like this on Sunday too, but I mean, when we were even on the cruise, I'm like, okay, we're starting to move a little. I hope I'm okay. Where's that medicine?
Oh, goodness.
I can only imagine, being in, I mean, if you're in a pretty stout seaworthy vessel, even today, in a massive high wave situation, it's still pretty freaky.
Yeah.
I can only imagine
Dangerous.
being in this kind of thing.
Right.
Hey, Paul had already been through 3, so I mean, but anyhow, that's getting ahead of ourselves. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for clarifying the Asia Minor thing for sure, and that reminds me I need to throw that in my notes just for clarity on Sunday, because even though it's Big Sunday, I'm not jumping back into Mark again until the next time we have a 4th Sunday, Big Sunday type of thing.
Okay.
Because like I said, the whole next part is that Olivet Discourse, which we talked about last time, and it's all about future things, and I just think we'll just take that through the summer and dabble, do you? Cool. So I'm going to continue this series on this Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we'll keep the flow going. What else about any of that?
Like I pointed out that Luke is very detailed. I mean, kind of gets down in the details of things. But pointing out the centurion and the name of the centurion, it was kind of neat that you brought up other passages that also bring up other centurions.
Yes, centurions, sure.
And how it's just it kind of is one of those. Well, even these guys were convicted somehow, not for
Yeah.
most of them, but and I think that's pretty cool.
It's sort of like here's the cast, right? It's like the opening, and we already did sort of an intro, to get us to where we are at this part of the story. But yeah, those next few verses are kind of like, and now here's the cast.
Yeah.
Gilligan, Skipper too. It's like
Yeah.
it just goes through that whole bit, and there's definitely some insight there.
And
were you about to say something too?
Oh, just the point of the centurions. It is just one more bit of proof that this is a historical document.
yeah,
This is not just some made up story.
Right.
Yep.
This talks about
The details are right.
Yeah, the details are there. They talk about the centurions in the appropriate context of who they were among the people. And many stories, like you brought up a bunch, but even last Sunday with the revolt and stuff, or the riot going on.
Right, yeah.
The centurion being mentioned he fits right into exactly what a centurion would have done.
Yeah.
And so it just is more proof that this is not some fairy tale thing. This is a historical text.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff that happened.
Right.
Yeah, no sea monster dragon comes out.
Yeah.
This is not a mythical tale.
Right.
And I wanted to ask about Aristarchus. Is that how you say it?
Aristarchus?
Aristarchus.
Thessalonica.
Yeah. From Thessaloniki. Thessalonica.
Right.
Back then. Modern day Thessaloniki, is that how it works?
Yeah.
Whatever. But anyway, is he mentioned anywhere else?
Yeah,
Or just
I mentioned that even Sunday.
That's what I thought.
I was kind of bumbling through that part, but yeah, he is. He was at the riot in Ephesus, so he was actually there with the big scandal that came up with the silversmith, I think it was. Whoever it was who was in charge. They got their money from selling little idols of Artemis and whatever. Temple of Artemis. That's the deal. That's the riot where they shout for like hours in the area about shouting about Artemis because they were nuts.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, he's mentioned there. He's mentioned actually, I think in Philemon. The letter to Philemon, Paul mentions something along the lines of our fellow servant and brother Aristarchus sends you greetings. It's that sort of thing. So he's mentioned in a couple of places. He's at least in a few of Paul's journeys. Yeah. So he goes with him on that.
Yeah,
so
I think that's cool.
I like to think. Obviously there weren't Christians in Thessalonica before Paul arrived.
Right.
There were believing Jews, so a lot of the theory is that he was perhaps a believing Jew who became a Christian and then became a passionate follower and joined him on some of these missions. So it's kind of cool, yeah. But I didn't want to say that's what I was saying the whole bit. It's like, I'd love to tell you that. Yeah. That'd be a cool kind of backstory. It may have been that, but we don't really know a whole lot about him as a person, except that he was just a very faithful companion of Paul on a number of his journeys, and was there for some of the action. Like, whoa. So we don't know what happened to.
Is Aristarchus a prisoner alongside Paul?
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about this too, because
that's another part to that.
Normally, if you're a prisoner, you don't get to bring your friends along.
Yeah.
Right.
And but Paul did. In fact, in the next little section, we see some of that. And what's happening is that, number one, he hasn't been condemned yet. And again, we're ahead of ourselves here. He hasn't been condemned yet. He's a Roman citizen. The centurion is giving him it says he kindly allows him to go visit his friends, let them care for him. You wouldn't do that with a normal prisoner. Yeah. Right? And then he was able to have them accompany him on this journey. So, kudos to Luke, Aristarchus.
Right?
You're going with him on this thing. I bet they were very concerned.
You're going on that?
Well, Bob brought this up last time that, Paul had people saying to him, don't go to Rome, this is going to be bad. And Paul knew it was, but he still knew he had to go.
Yeah.
So I'm sure maybe there's a little bit of concern. Maybe we can bodyguard you a little bit. We already know this is trouble. But we don't know for sure, but that's part of it. Yeah, he's allowing them to go with him. I don't think Aristarchus was like a prisoner in that sense. He was like I mean, unless they told them they were all slaves, right? Even still, your prisoner wouldn't be allowed to bring a slave along. So I think that there was just some of the, King Agrippa, the people who, right when he appealed to Caesar, I mean, they didn't think he was really guilty of anything. They were about to let him go. But I think there's just a lot of things coming to play, and God working through that to give him some companionship on a very difficult journey. Of course, if they had any idea what was about to happen, which I can't wait to get into that. It's one of my favorite stories, certainly in the book of Acts. Yeah. And I wouldn't say it's like my favorite of the whole Bible, but I love the way this narrative plays out and the lessons that truly do transfer. I mean, I'm not going to say anything crazy like, well, so they, had to throw off, the grain. So we too must cast our grain. You don't want to make such a weird interpretation. Yeah, it's like sometimes it just means they're like a little of a ship or something. But there might be some application. But you also, whenever you're looking at any passage, you want to make sure to interpret it properly. And then you got to look at the context. You have to look at what it meant to the people who first read it. What's actually happening here? What's the main point of this? And the main point of most Bible stories is not how can I live a better life. That's not really usually it. It's not all really about us. It's about what God is doing in humanity and in redemption of humanity at that time. So I got to be careful. I mean, I don't want to get too, try to bring out something that's not there. But there are observable things there that can transfer. And so that's what the one big point from Sunday was all about, is that, yes, you got these guys on the boat, you got these guys on the boat. Everything has gone crazy and is about to go even more crazy, but all of those people come into play. And we'll even see farther along in another message a little bit farther that they're meeting needs. There are things that are happening that we can immediately transfer to our lives today, as well as just see what God did to help get the gospel, to the world. So that's what I love about it. I mean, there's a long narrative for a reason. There are certain things in Scripture that are short narratives, and that point is very, very clear. But when you have a really long, detailed narrative, there's some things to pick up from that. It's there for a reason and for our edification. So I'm looking forward to getting into some of that. And also, it's kind of cool because we're heading into summer, we're heading into adventure. It's just like a good segue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we've got the same kind of plans changed too. You're sleeping.
My apologies.
It's okay. But yeah, we got, there's some things that perhaps our church can pick up from this too. But really that biggie, pay attention to who is around you. Now I'll go ahead and give you the clarity before we run out of time. The story I told.
Hold on.
How much time we got?
I don't know.
Get really close into the camera, Tracey. That's always fun. Just see you really close. Oh my gosh, there's the thumbnail.
9 minutes.
What a weird thumbnail that's going to be.
Oh no.
Just Tracy's face.
A giant visited us. So I told a quick story about that I've referenced a number of times in a previous church planning situation where we had tried to do a lot of events, we tried to do our own thing and nothing was working, but we knew this was what we were supposed to be doing. So we changed our tactic and then just, what's already going on? How can we be a part of it? And that opened some grand doors. And so we served at this one event. And the reaction from the city was just so amazing. I just didn't expect it at all. I mean, the Parks and Rec director was just like, man, thank you so much. So here's a church helping, and the city is going, thank you so much, because if you hadn't been here, we couldn't have done this. And we didn't know there were going to be like 300, 400 more people than we expected. So thank you is what they were saying to us. And then it was also a way to connect with a lot of people that we wouldn't have before. So it was all very, very good. God was very much in it. And I'm not sure I conveyed fully what I meant to. I think if you listen to the message, you'll kind of get the point. But after that, I just saw that as, okay, this is our end. Let's be a part of a ton of events. And the truth of the matter is, our goal was still correct. and there was a lot of good that was done. But it's kind of like when we say don't use people, right? I didn't use anybody, obviously. But, well, I guess not obviously, but I mean, we didn't just use people, but I was so focused on that goal, connecting with the city, getting people, reaching people for Christ. It was all vision, that I didn't focus as well as I should have on the people who were with me on that journey. And it wore them out. And I learned a lot of lessons through that whole experience that we transferred, here. I hope you guys have never felt like, oh, Johnny's just using us to get to, we're out here serving, doing a movie night, and all he cares about is a big crowd showing up or whatever. I hope that's never been.
We do want a big crowd this year.
Well, we're in this together, man,
That's
right?
because we all want it. It's not,
But anyway, I hope you understand the point is that's something you can always do in that when everything goes wonky, is remember there are people around you. Well, let's meet each other. Let's pray for each other. Let's encourage each other. Let's make sure we're hanging out together. That was part of our hangouts last summer too. That was part of the reason for that, is making sure that we're doing a bunch of stuff, but let's hang out together and care for each other in the process too. So that's just kind of one of the first observable lessons that you begin to see is happening on this weird journey, is that all of those people, every single one of them, have a part to play in the long story. So anyway, that was my clarity. I didn't want to make it sound like that serving our city in the way we did was wrong so much.
Yeah.
It's just that I neglected part of that. That was the wrong adventure that I was on. So I was on the right adventure in the goal, but I was on the wrong one in the side adventure. I missed the side quest, which was very, very important in that deal. So, in fact, I think that's the title what was this, like look for the side adventure? I can't remember. You'll have to see it on YouTube. Oh, it's here. YouTube. Look at that message. Whatever I titled it, something like that.
Put a little link in it right here.
Anyway, well, what else? We're going to be here at the studio this Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
This Sunday at the studio. We got, as you previously mentioned, we have our planting day on Sunday. So if you're available, 5 o'clock on Sunday, weather permitting, we will be out there. Getting all our seeds and veggies in the ground. It's a very exciting time.
You're going to have to give us very clear instructions.
Yeah.
Too, especially those who are kind of new to the.
Yeah.
This is how you plant the carrots. It's different than the way you plant the peppers, probably.
I have tools and different things that should make it all really easy. I actually got an auger that attaches to a drill. So instead of even needing to dig out, you can just drill the hole for the pepper plants and stuff. Yeah, so you can just drill it down 6 or 8 inches.
You made it too easy.
Yeah.
Is it on a long thing?
It's kind of a shorter one.
So you still have to squat.
You still will have to squat. Yeah, I didn't get a stand-up one that's got a 6 foot long. Just no.
This says 75 and nice 4% chance of rain in Colorado.
It's gonna be pouring down.
It's either none or rain or no rain. Yeah.
But it's going to be really exciting, and then we're starting the watering schedule. We'll start up pretty much right away. So anybody that wants to help out in that regard, please let me know. Jake_Schriner at yahoo.com. But yeah, so that's really the biggest
guy from
want water. Not even about the garden. That's probably the most time consuming though, is getting out there 2 to 3 times a week to make sure we're watering properly. Bob and I have a pretty good split, but it is always nice to have that.
Oh yeah. I like the watering. The weeding is a pain, but the watering is great.
Easy. That you can't stand up for because they have a
you
long
don't
wand. You just have to stand there and just kind of
you
just kind of stare off into space while you're doing it.
There you go. There you go.
All right, and also, like I said, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I can't remember if it was while we were recording or not, but I want to do right after our service something in the park across the street. I don't know why. It may just be, hey, let's take some balloons over there or something and something.
Okay.
Just to have some, just to add a little something. I just like even when we were in the parks that we're not just there to bother people in the park.
Right.
We want to add to it, and where people go home and go, well, I wasn't expecting that. That was nice. We all got balloons, or we all got whatever from that church. That was nice. And they didn't have amplified sound. And we're bugging us. But we'll bug them in a different way.
Sounds good.
All right, well, awesome. Well, what else, guys?
I think we should wrap it up.
Gotta wrap it up?
It's flashing.
Okay. Well, we need to say John 3:16, which is some verse goes something like, I don't know. Tracy, do you know what?
For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life.
Amen to that. And that's what we're all about. John 3:16, sort of our anchor verse, and that is the verse, by the way. That's what needs to go on the side. The cool metal
Yeah, there you
steel,
go.
I should say.
There you
Steel.
go.
The younger
Steel is a type of metal. It's steel.
That's true. Yes.
Okay.
Good point. I love it.
It's funny when people call me. They're like, "You all carry steel or metal?" I'm like, well, technically, I have both.
We got a little of both.
Steel or metal or aluminum foil or well, anyway. Okay. Well, with that said, then I guess we should I should say some things to wrap things up here. And I think I usually say we meet somewhere in the world every single week. Usually online, you can find us on Facebook. Go to search for Compass Church Colorado, and you can discover more at compassdenver.com. We'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, friends, final words.
Love you guys. Bob, missing you already, and love everyone out there.
Likewise, and this has been great because he is great.
Grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye-bye.
Later.
On the
Gator.
next round, we'll catch you there.